Hello everybody, this is Kysen here and welcome to quite a different video today actually to what I'd normally do. So you'll see here that I'm at KysenKraft. You'll notice the spawn if you've seen the previous videos of this server. This is of course my server, and one of the things that I have to do on the server is a lot of admin, config, behind the scenes type of work, and normally I don't really film that. I just kind of do it and get on with it, and then you guys just kind of see the end result of that. But what I thought I'd do today is I'm going to make the server shop. And I thought, for a change, I'm going to do this on camera. I'm going to film it because I've got to do it anyway, so why not film it? You guys might like it. If you do like it, I might look to do some more of these types of videos in the future, so let me know. And if not, then, oh well, it's not really anything wasted because, like I say, I was going to do this anyway. So, yeah, we're going to crack on today, do a bit of WorldEdit stuff and a bit of ChestShop plugin. That's the one we use here to get some things done. So I'm going to pretty much jump right into that because I'm keen to get this shop done. And the first thing I'm going to do is I need to choose an area, which I've already done. I did that off camera. And what I'm going to do is the easiest way to find a big flat area in Minecraft is, of course, to use ocean. But I don't want to make it too close to the spawn area because guys are doing things around here, as you can see. And what I'll do is I'll just make it in the middle of nowhere and then set a warp to it. So if I go /home shops, I've built myself a very little platform here in the middle of the ocean. So this is great. I can do what I want from here and get a nice flat area built. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy that, and I'm going to come down here and sit right on top of the ocean pretty much, and the command I need to do is /up1, and that gives me a little platform. So we're going to build it like this with the water directly below us. I think that's a pretty cool way of doing it. So also by doing it this way, I can actually really easily figure out what Y level I need to be at in order to build the platform. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to work on building a big platform here, and I don't know how big I want this to be, so for now I'm just going to kind of I'll use this as my first position with WorldEdit. Now, this isn't a WorldEdit tutorial as such, so if you're not sure how to use it, there's plenty of tutorials and things out there that you guys can check out, but I will be using a lot of WorldEdit in this. It's a pretty useful plugin for servers actually. I definitely recommend it if you've got a server yourself. It can be quite useful. Anyway, I don't want to go too far and crash the server, but it needs to be a big platform because as well as the server shop, we're going to have an area here for players to have their own shops. I like to do that because I like to try and encourage player versus player trading as opposed to people just trading with the shop the whole time, because obviously I think that creates a better sort of community, and then players are getting the rewards for that. Okay, so that's going to be the platform size to start off with, and we'll set that as sandstone, I think, just originally. That's a pretty big platform to be going on with. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's a decent sized platform we've got here in the middle of the ocean, so pretty much ready now to crack on, do what we do. You know what, it looks pretty square actually. It's not quite square, but pretty good effort, I would say. So the next thing to do now is the way I want to do this shop. I'm thinking, so we use ChestShop, right? If I just explain that a second. Now basically if a player's doing a chest shop, what they'll do is they'll put their chest there like that, they whack a sign up there, they put some information on the sign, and they can sell whatever's in this chest, right? And then that goes to the other players. They can come and buy and sell, depending on if that's the way the shop's set up, or you can do sort of either or, either buying or selling or both. So that's how that works. Now the good thing about what I'm doing here is it's an admin shop. So that means all I need is that, because I don't need to worry about having double the inventory space, because there's no such thing. For an admin shop, it can never run out of items, and the money just goes off into La La Land. It's not like another player gets it. If this was a shop done by, say, Famke, so she's a player on our server, if she did that, and then I bought something off of her from $100, then the $100 would go from my account into hers. With the admin shop, that's not the case. So it means that I can save a lot of space, and that's pretty cool. Now, what I want to do, I said, is build up like kind of regions where I'm going to be sort of selling. I don't know exactly what yet, but there's going to be a big range of items. And then when a player opens up a shop, let's say I'm selling birchwood here, right? If a player opens up a shop and they're selling birchwood, then I'm not going to sell it. So it's going to be that kind of thing. As long as they've got a big enough stock to service everyone, then I'll take it out the admin shop, again, to encourage that player versus player trading. Now, as far as design goes, that's, I guess, the next thing to think about. So what we're going to have a look at here is if we use some of these stone slab things, I think they look quite good with the sandstone. And they can kind of set like a natural sort of border like that. Now I want to try something here actually. If I was to make that 0.1, we come down here and we make that 0.2, and we set that as stone slabs. Does that work? Yeah, it does, and it's at the level we want it to be. Okay, great. So now I guess it's just a case of figuring out the inside of the shop. So the way I want to do this then is we'll put some down here like this as well, and basically we'll have these shops. I'm thinking if we have like a chest there, and actually the chest we need to go there and the next one there, so the corners get a little bit wasted, but it's not a problem as such. And then I guess that by doing that we can have like U-shaped shops, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. But so this could be like one item here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's probably enough actually to be going on with. And then if we go here, we've got another corner block here like this, and it will come around in this fashion. Now I might change this up a little bit as I go along, but it's a good starting point to know kind of how we're going to do this. I'll leave a one wide gap around the back of everything just to smarten it up. So it's kind of an open plan little thing we got going on here, and that there, I think that's looking pretty good. But now what we're going to want to do is get the aisles going on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to make it twice as long as it is wide. So we need to do another 8, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 like that. Now I know that sandstone is going to go into about there. I know it's on that level, so we can very quickly here just do that there, and boom, we've got our row of slabs in like that. Now what we want to do is we want to get this going on, and I've already counted on the other axis, so I'm just going to make sure I place these in the right place, but not actually count them. I'll just kind of see when I'm in a level place with the other shop. Oh my goodness, cannot place anything today. I have one of those days actually. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft today. I think it's because I spent the whole morning doing config stuff behind the scenes, and yeah, it's just really taken out of me. I think because now I seem to be just placing everything in the wrong place, which is probably not the best time to do a tutorial, really, is it, when you think about it? But hopefully this will work. So we'll do that. Stone slabs again like that. Now this is going to be a pretty big shop. It's not going to be the best looking shop in the world, I'll give you that, but it will be quite functional. Now I think what we want to do here is if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then place it, that's plenty of space in between them, isn't it? And let's see if this works out on the other side as well. If we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then place it, and then we've got a bit of stuff going on in the middle here, which I don't know what I'll do with that yet. I'll use that as kind of an extra space thing. So this is basically where the admin shop's going to go. And then we'll figure out how the platform and the rest of this area is going to integrate with that in the future. I might even decide to sort of cut this off and then have the plots going. If we just come here, if I extended this one out, for example, like this, alright, so it'd be kind of like a T shape where you've got the admin shop here. Zoom out a bit, I can show you guys better. Admin shop there, right, and then like an area here where we have all the player shops, and I'll put the spawn like at that end. So you kind of have to walk through all the player shops to get to the admin shop. Again, hopefully generating a bit more player trade. But yeah, this is a decent start. We've got the platform going on and everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to very quickly fill in all of these chests on these 2 rows, and then we'll come back and talk about how we're going to do the items. Alright guys, well I'm back, and as you can see I have now finished the chests off here, and I've also put in a little bit of a bit of decoration. We've got some stone slabs, we've got some leaves going on, so I think it looks quite nice actually how that's all laid out. Now what I want to do now is come on to how I'm going to lay out the shops. And the reason I left a one gap behind was because what I want to do is put stone up like that with the sign there telling everybody what it's selling. So I think signs against stone, it kind of looks nice and it's very clear as to what's being sold. But more than that, what I want to do is if this shop right here is this chest, if this is selling dirt, put a dirt up there like that, and that way from a distance if people are walking to your shop they can see, oh, dirt's being sold there, and there might be, oh, diamonds are over here. It's just a very quick way of everybody then seeing what's going on. So at each sort of chest I'm going to have to put the item that's being sold up top there individually. But if I'm going to have stone the whole way, then you want a quick way of doing this, right? Because otherwise you're going to be doing this on every single one, which, yeah, you're in creative mode, it's not the end of the world, but we can do a lot better than that using WorldEdit, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So what I'm going to do is stand on top of here, and let's make that position 1, right, that position 2, that position 2, and then I'm going to stand on top of this chest. I'll show you why I'm using this chest in a second, and do / copy, just like that. Now all I have to do is go to the next chest that I want to send on its merry little way here, do / paste like that, and boom, we've got 6. But now, if I make that position number 2, instead of where it was before, go back onto my original chest, copy it, and then in a roundabout way come over here, and paste it, it doubles what we're doing each time. So you can kind of do that. Now at the moment it's 6, there's 4 there, so we go 2 in and we just paste again, and then that'll take us to the end. So that's pretty useful, and it will also work this way round on this side, but I believe, if I've got this right, I think I need to do, oops, oh yes, of course, no, I know what I'm doing, I've been a bit silly there. Will it work if I'm still on this block? Oh wait, alright, so /s undo, if you do that by accident you just do redo, and then it will put that back. But before I go on to that, is this where I want to be for this? Yeah, it is. Alright, that's cool. So then we just come down here and we'll do that one there. It's very useful. So, you know, getting good at these commands, if you've got a server of your own, you'll get good at these pretty quickly, and they're quite useful to know, to help you through what you're doing. And now I've got to figure this out. So we want to come, yeah, I think stand on top of that chest and do it again. Yeah, there we go. So, you know, and you can even take it further than this and copy larger things, but to me, you know, this is perfectly good enough. What we got there? 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to stand up top there and do that. That should be done. Yep. And now it's just these. So then my stone will be placed for this whole thing, and then we get to do the really fun part where we can do 9 items at a time, because that's how many you have in your hotbar, of course, to place down everything and label out where it wants to go. And wait a second, that's 4, so we're coming to here. Nearly made a mistake there. And the other thing I'm going to talk to you about, because this is, you know, a server shop specific episode really, is how you find the right balance as to what you charge for all your different items in the shop. You know, why is something charged at say $100 or $200 or whatever you make it? You know, a good way, a good system, I guess, of sort of doing that. And actually, as well, what I wouldn't mind doing is making this come out and stick out like that. I think it's going to look better than being square with that. Although, does it do that at this end? Yeah, it does. Alright, well, for the sake of being symmetrical to some extent, I'll just put it like that. Alright, so first we want to do then, clear our inventory, and now the fun part. So I'm going to go and list some items here. So I like to try and put them logically. So dirt goes in one place, and what I'll do actually is I'll do dirt, and then I'll do coarse dirt, podzol, and do I want mycelium to go here as well, perhaps? It's kind of a dirt item. Now I'll have a mushroom section. So we've got dirt, we've got the coarse dirt, podzol, going into grass. The next thing I guess then would be sand, and then we've got all the different types of sandstone. So that one, chiseled, smooth. I won't do stairs and things. You can make your own stairs if that's what, you know, people are doing. And then we want to go into the red sand stuff. Maybe. No, you know what? We'll actually go into cobble from there, and we'll do the red sand as like a mesa section. So I like to try and sort of section it out and make it very obvious for people where everything is. So you'll see here, you just place them all down then on top of the blocks there, and I'm just going to do this once and then I'll complete the rest of the shop without you guys. But then you can see there quite easily, you can very quickly see kind of what the different sections are as to where everything is being sold. So what I'm going to do now is go and finish all of these off, create a whole area there then with the shops sort of listed, everything that's going to sell, and then I'll come back and kind of explain the thought process, and we'll go from there. Hi guys, I'm back again, but just quickly, because I came to kind of an important point. You'll see here, I carried on doing a few other things, and then I came and saw gravel, and I thought to myself, you know what, gravel really would be better sort of in between the dirt and then the sand. So really what I need to do now is I've got all these items in a line here, I need to move them all down one. So what you want to do, if that happens, is get your axe back out. This is your WorldEdit axe. I'm going to teach you a little bit about WorldEdit while we're here, because why not, right? And so the first position I'll set as, sorry, it should be that one, the sand, the first one you want to move. Then you're going to come down to the end here and set your second position as the final one. We want to go back to the sand, right, that. Do / cut, like that, so they all disappear. Jump over one, and do / paste, like that. And then we can whack the gravel up there. They've all moved down one, and there's now just one left on the end. There was the two before, and your order is saved. So this is why, another reason that I do this section here first. Oh, that's what I placed before. Get rid of that. Yeah, I do this bit first, because then once you place the signs, you can't do that. You place an admin sign for an admin shop, you know, using the plugin and stuff. You're going to need to sell it from that chest. But at this stage, I can lay everything out, and if I do make a boo-boo like that, or if I do just want to move things around or what have you, it's so much easier to do it. So definitely recommend doing it this way around if you're doing a shop on your own server. Anyway, I'm going to go back now, finish off putting all those blocks on top, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Alright guys, well as you can see I've made a lot of progress here now, and that is the block shop just about done. So in here we're selling hard blocks of just about everything. So you'll notice as well there's kind of a natural transition to everything. We're starting with our dirt, going up there into sand, then into rock and all the different types of rock. That goes around then into the diorite, granite and all that sort of stuff, and the stone slabs. Then we go off into glass, so these are kind of some of the softer things here with the glass going around the outside, all the different colours of clay there as well. But first we get all the wood, and that's all in order as well, going all the way up here, then clay, and then into all the terracottas. I'm not going to do the pattern terracotta, I should say, the glazed stuff, because I think people can buy that themselves and smelt it. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit of work. I don't want to make things too easy. But that's pretty much the block shop done. Now I said previously in this video, and perhaps I'll just use this area, and I was thinking I could build up and do different levels, but I actually kind of like the way this is sort of open plan, and I don't really want to put a roof on it. So obviously I do need to come around and do all the signage, but that'll be after I've worked out some sort of pricing scheme, pricing structure for this. So what I think I actually want to do is make this over here. So then there'll be like a little corridor in the middle. We've done a block shop, so the next thing then we'll have different sections. So there'll be like, I'm going to do like a farming section, a nether section, somewhere to get like your endstone and ice and all of that stuff that's not over here, all those sorts of blocks that aren't like, they are blocks, but they're not like your generic Minecraft blocks that you get. And this is just my way of doing it. It's not necessarily the right way, it's just kind of how it sort of makes sense to me. I don't know why those leaves were missing there. There was some missing in the middle here earlier as well. I'm not sure exactly why that was. I think I might have accidentally deleted them at some point or done something with WorldEdit. But anyway, so yeah, we want to do that. So the easiest way to do this really, if we stand on top of this leaf here, we'll get that one there, and we'll get that one there. Now we want to copy it from this end, because when you paste it, it pastes relative to where you're stood. So if we copy that, and then we come over here like this, and the next leaf we'd like maybe, I'd say at least a 3 wide gap, and then place it there. Let's see if we can get 5 actually. Well, we can get 5 because I've just WorldEdit it, but yeah. So stand up there, paste it all back down, and it will go off, and then we can see here, okay, we need to extend this out a little bit. So we'll just whack I guess from like here, and then to say there. There we go. Set that as sandstone. Yeah, that should work just fine. And then of course we'll join up this corner here over to here, and I think this open plan shop thing is going to look pretty good in the end. I like the sandstone look as well, and the leaves and stuff. It's quite simple but quite effective at the same time. So that's that sort of taken care of for now, and I'll probably fancy up the entrance a little bit here in the future. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, okay, that was because I stood on the corner. I was trying to figure out why that happened like that. So I think what will need to happen here is that will come round like that, won't it? Yeah. Alright, so that should be fine. And a good way of sort of checking this, I suppose, as well, is we can get these chests here copied and pasted. So we want to copy from like that one there, right the way down to this one here. And yeah, again, we're going to want to stand on this one when we copy this, aren't we? So like that to do our copy. And then if we come down here, now this one here's got 2 gap before we have our first chest. I'm pretty happy with that actually. So yeah, we'll go 1, 2, and there. That's in line, isn't it? So if we do paste now, what on earth has happened there? The clipboard has been pasted. So my first position, second position there. Why has only 1 chest been placed, and why is it up in the air? Alright, that's a bit weird. I'm pretty sure you can copy and paste chests, so I'm not sure why it would have done that. But I'll tell you what I'll do. Sometimes it likes to copy from hard block to hard block. So if we do that, we'll just try this out and see if this works. If it doesn't, then I'll go figure it out off camera, because it could take me some time. But I'd be interested to know why it's not working. So if we do / copy from there, alright, and then we'll say 2 in, so I'll make that a stone block as well to try and paste it to. Whoop. And we'll see if that works. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Copied that one at least. Okay, not sure why that's not working. Not going to worry about it actually, because I'll just place them in manually. And I know there should be 16 before we get to the end. So let's place those in now. So we'll leave the... why are the leaves not coming all the way? I hope I haven't done this wrong. Alright, we'll test this out. So we go 1, 2 there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I did it wrong. Okay. Not the end of the world, because all I'll do is get some beautiful leaves going down here, like this. And that's got 1, 2, and then the chest start. That's got 1, 2, then the chest start. Lovely jubbly. Oh, actually, maybe I didn't do it wrong, because there is a bit of a gap here, isn't there? We did leave a bit of a gap. You know what? This could all be okay yet. So the next chest would go there. I didn't do it wrong. Look at that, guys. Whew. Alright, so we're going to have another shop around this side, which I am going to do now off camera, and get all this boring stuff done again, and then we'll do a little update and see how that's starting to look. Alright guys, well as you can see the shop has now taken shape quite well. We've got all kinds of things going on here, all different coloured glasses and concrete and just a bit of everything. Just a couple of things to point out. First of all, I think a good way of doing the items is like this. So if you're selling something like a lily pad, I can't obviously place it up there like a block. Put it in an item frame like that, and yeah, so just a good easy way of doing that so that people can see what's being sold there. And there's another function to that being these blocks being here in a second. So basically, although they are very useful in that I can, if I'm down here, I can be like, oh, there's clearly some endstone being sold there, and run and get it. There's another useful function to that, which I'll come on to in just a second. But just to say, if you are using the ChestShop plugin, which is what I'm using, this is how you create an admin shop. So I've done a tutorial before that shows how you can create normal shops using this plugin. But if you want an admin shop, then that's what you put, admin shop, up the top. What that basically means is, if I put myself into game mode survival for a second, and I right click on this, then I buy the 64 dirt from the admin shop for $100. And that money just goes from my account and disappears into nothingness, which is the admin shop's way of working, so that another player doesn't get that money or whatever. And if I open this chest here, you'll see there's nothing in there, so nothing actually has to be in there. It just works like that. So you technically don't actually need to have any items in any of the chests, and that obviously saves a ton of space and it's very useful. So I'm going to go through how we create this right now, and basically it's fairly simple with the format. So admin shop goes on the top. Then the amount of the item you want to sell. Then this here, so B100, you've got to look at that from the customer's point of view. So I'm the customer, I'm going to buy dirt from the shop, okay? Because if I wanted this to be a place where I could come and let players sell their dirt, then I'd put S and whatever amount, let's say S50, so they could sell a stack of dirt to the admin shop for $50. So it's all done from the customer's point of view, if that makes sense. And then you just write dirt underneath. However, some items are more difficult to do than others. So, for example, if an item is relatively new to the game, then it might not work so well. So I'm looking at, let's say this item right here. Yeah. Now I don't know for sure if this is the case, but we're going to try this out on this one. If it's a magma block and I put a sign up that says magma block, it may not work. And this is particularly the case if you have enchanted items that you want to sell, then this is the way to do this. You get the enchanted item, so let's say this was like a pickaxe that had, efficiency 3, fortune 3, whatever, and that's what you wanted to sell. And once on the item, you just type /item info, like that. And it gives you a number, so magma is 213. So now when I'm doing my shop, I can put in here admin shop, and let's put 1, I'm going to change this later anyway, let's say you can buy 1 for 10. And then you just put in, I can't remember what it was now, was it 219? I think it was 219. 213. Okay, alright, so 219 is a white shulker box, you can see there. So every item in the game has a number like that, and basically by figuring out what that is, by doing the command that I just showed you, that's how you figure out the way of doing the sign for the shop. So that's how that works. So I think that's quite a useful little tip actually, if you're looking to do your own shop in this way. So that's the shop area set up. There's going to be a lot more being sold. I'm going to do other shop areas and some donor specific shop areas and things like that. But the block shop is mainly done. Now I have the really fun job of going around and putting all of these signs on, which I'm going to do now. and I'll come back to you once I've done that, and we'll talk about a few more things to finish off this video. Hey guys, I've been making the signs here to make all the shops for the different items, and I came to quite an important tip that I wanted to share with you guys if you're making your own shops like this. And that is, with these clay things here, and the glass here, all of that stuff, the wool, I've done it in the order it appears in the game. So if I go here and type in wool, for example, I place the wool in that order, so white, orange, magenta, light blue, yellow, and so on. Now, the reason I did that was because when you come to doing the shops, this is stained clay, okay, so the item ID for that is number 159. And then when I come to do the next one, I know that it's 159 colon 1. And then the next one, colon 2, colon 3. So all I have to remember is the 159. And I'll prove what I mean by doing this last one on the end here. So this one here was 159.13. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to be doing the same price for all of these. So the only thing you have to remember, really, is the number. So as I say, it's 159. So we'll go in here, 159, put in the colon. Even if I forget, I can see on the left hand of the screen there that it's 13. So this is going to be 14. And then it's just a case of doing the buy for 750, the amount which stays the same, and the name admin shop which stays the same. So that's now done, and if I do /GMS and buy some of this, you'll see that it works out, and it will work out every time. So it's just a quick little tip, but I think it's quite an important one because it will save you a lot of time. Otherwise, if you jumble these up and kind of make your own orders based on the colour or whatever, then every time you go to make a sign, you're going to have to get the item info, and it will take you a lot longer to do that. So just a quick little tip. I'm going to carry on now, finishing off the rest of what I'm doing here, and then come back and do the final update with the finished shop. Okay guys, well the shop area is now complete, at least for now. There will be more in the future in terms of there'll be extended range of items that you can buy from the admin shop, and there will be player shops around here too. But it's done for now, and it's about to open on our server. You can see here all of the items have a sign underneath them, so every shop is ready to go. A change that I made, you'll notice, is that there's no longer leaves around the outside. Two reasons for that. One, having the sea lanterns there lights up the area, so that's pretty good, because obviously we don't want mobs spawning in this area. And the other benefit of doing this was the fact that for some reason the leaves kept just disappearing randomly, and there was these gaps and holes everywhere. It just looked really crappy. I have no idea why that happened, but anyway, this has fixed it. And as you can see, done the same on the inside here with the sea lanterns just to light this area up. So that's pretty cool. Now I said before that I was going to talk to you a little bit about the prices for items in your shop, and we're going to do that now. Now, I've got all of these different prices, of course, that I've come up with, and it's not a case of, like, for example, my dirt is 200, right? My coarse dirt is 350. That doesn't necessarily mean that yours should be that price, or even that ratio. You've got to look at each server on its own merit. So if you're doing this on your server, you don't want to just go and copy someone else's. You've got to look at your economy and how it functions and that sort of thing. I always like to start with doing a price for dirt, because I find that once you have a price for dirt, you've got your sort of standard unit then that, okay, so a stack of dirt is 200, so then you can do everything else like in relation to that. So coarse dirt is more difficult to get, it's more useful, it can be used in decoration, that sort of thing, so we charge a bit extra for it, you know. And then we've got, like here, the podzol, for example, didn't mean to click that one, and that's even more expensive again, because obviously it's harder to get, and it's even more useful and used for decoration and stuff, and it just goes on like that. A couple of things I would say is, first of all, think about how easy it is to get $200 on your server, or whatever price you want dirt to be, because really it should be very easy to get that amount. And on my server it is. If I do battle top really quickly, you'll see these are how much money everyone on the server currently has. So our top guy right now is Luke, that's our navigator, it's a donator. So he's got almost 400k. So 200 for dirt. Not that bad. Now, of course, a lot of people have got less than that, but even so, you know, if you're in the top 8, you've got like 10 grand, so spending money on dirt isn't that big of a problem. The other thing I would mention is on this server, I've purposely made the admin shop more expensive than what I'd expect dirt to sell for. So dirt is, you know, on this server is probably worth maybe about half that, but the reason I've done this is because I want to encourage player v player trading and player shops and that sort of thing. I think that adds to the server community and just makes it a little bit better and more friendly. So I've made my shop expensive on purpose. Now, you may not want to do that on your server. It depends what you're trying to achieve. But that is the reason why the prices are where they are. And all I'd say is think very carefully about how you get money on your server and how you want all the items to be priced in relation to that. Now then, if we go down here, and I was lagging a bit there, so I ran funny, but basically, this is just another thing I want to talk to you about in terms of the prices. So sand here is, for a stack of sand, it's 150. Now, that is because it's very easy to get sand. You know, if you get an efficiency shovel, you can rinse through that stuff pretty quickly. So I made it a little bit cheaper than the dirt. Again, dirt's sort of my bog standard, and go, okay, sand's easy to get, we'll do that. But then, in relation to the sandstone, so basically, obviously, to make sandstone, you can use 4 sand. So 4 stacks of this equals this, in theory, right? Now, 4 stacks of this you can buy, it would cost you 600. But I'm selling this for 650, so why am I doing that? Well, I've included a labour cost. Now, what I mean by that is, you have to buy 4 stacks of this, right? So you have to come here, buy 4 stacks of this, or whatever, you know, because we've got to think about this in relation to buying things, because that's what we're talking about here, not going out and mining them. So you buy 4 stacks of that, you then have to put them, you know, in your hotbar crafting bench thing to make them, or in a crafting table. And by doing that, you then make one of these. So I'm saying that that's worth about $50 to do that. And again, I've overpriced it on purpose to encourage this player trading, but that's how I came up with that. That's why it's not exactly 4 times the amount. And you'll see here, I've done the same thing here, because, I mean, this is basically 1 for 1 with this, essentially. So that's the same price. And if we go through this whole thing, you'll see that I've done that. For example, cobble I've really ramped up. So cobble is 150. Now, 1 cobble plus coal equals one of these, right? So essentially, 8 cobble plus 1 coal equals 8 of those. That's the way you can look at it. So why have I made it so much more expensive? Well, you have to smelt it, which takes up coal, a valuable resource, but also you have to wait for it to smelt. So I've made it more expensive than what it should be because of that. So I factored that in, and I think it's a pretty decent idea to do that. Same thing here. Now on this one, I've included a labour cost, but you notice it's $100 more because it looks a lot better, and I think you're going to use that for building stuff. So again, you know, that's my way of thinking. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% correct, and I'm not saying that's what you absolutely have to do or whatever. I'm just explaining my process to you for anyone that's interested in the way that is working. So that's how I've done that. A final sort of point is, for example, glass here, 475. Stained glass, all of it is the exact same price, but it's slightly extra because you have to dye it. So you have to get the dye and dye the glass and that sort of thing. Similarly, like with wool, it's 700 for wool, but if you get coloured wool, it's 750. It's that little bit extra. Now I know that you can dye sheep and get this wool, like you could have an orange wool farm if you wanted, and it would be essentially the same. But there is still a lot of the time the fact that you do need to dye it, and so there's a little labour cost in there. This doesn't work out exactly, guys, but it's just my way of thinking about things, and I think it kind of makes sense. You know, there's some sort of logic to it. The final thing I'll say is you've got to think about in your shop, what are people doing here? They're coming here to buy things, but they're then going to probably build with those things. And especially for a block shop, that's almost always what they're doing. They're coming here to buy things to build with, right? So, based on that logic, I've gone, okay, so coloured wool, 750. If we come over here and look at coloured concrete, I'm making that 750 as well. And if we look over here at the coloured clay, that's 750. They're all the same price. And the reason for that is because if someone would rather build out of concrete than clay, or rather build out of clay than wool or something, I don't want them to be punished for that. I want them to be a level playing field with anyone else that wants to use colours, because certain colours and textures look better for different types of build. So it's to encourage players to be able to build out of whatever they want and give them that creative freedom on the server. So that's the reason all of that stuff is the same price, and I think that kind of makes sense to do that. The coloured glass is a little bit cheaper. And the reason for that is because, as I said before, sand is really, really easy to get. And yes, you have to dye it, but it's really not that difficult to get. Whereas for like coloured clay, for example, you have to go to a mesa biome, do a lot of digging, and you know, it can be a lot of travelling to get there and that sort of thing. So just kind of explaining my process a little bit to you guys, and hopefully that makes sense. And you'll see if you go to an item like endstone down here, I've made this really expensive because obviously you have to go to the end and then mine it and stuff, so it's more difficult. And yeah, that's how I've done that. So that's the whole process now pretty much explained to you. Now, if you are still watching this video, then you could potentially win something right now. So I've got 2 little competitions that I'm not going to announce. These are just purely for people that happen to still be watching the video at this stage. So if you're watching this and you're a member of KysenKraft server already, send me a private message on the Discord server and you will get a small prize. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet, which is partly because I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet. But you are going to get a small prize. So that's for KysenKraft members. However, if you are not a KysenKraft member right now, then you could potentially become one. The first person to watch this and message me either by commenting on this video, messaging me on Discord or Instagram, however you want to do it, the first person that does that, if you are not already a KysenKraft member, you're going to get a free place on KysenKraft, my donut server. So, guys, you know what to do. If that's what you want, message me right now, leave that comment. Like I said, Discord, Instagram, whatever you want to do. So, 2 little competitions there, guys. I'll be interested to see how these pan out. And that also brings us to the end of this episode. So, something a bit different, guys. A longer episode, I know, kind of admin stuff. And I'm not sure whether this is going to be well received or not. But I like to try these things, and then if you guys like them, I do more of them. And if you don't, I don't do so many. It's pretty much that simple. So yeah, guys, that is it. So thank you very much for watching. And as always, I hope you had a fun time. And I shall see you next time.